Hey everybody, it's Stalker 13R bringing you another episode from Team Able. Are you having fun? Well, hopefully you've watched some of the videos and we've talked about some strategies about improving your everyday game. So hopefully that win rate's coming up for you. And then you can get into a game like this where you've got your top tier, you've got favorable matchmaking, and you're able to just get in there and have some fun. Because that's what this game is all about. So today we're not going to worry about what's the tactical situation on the battlefield. I'm going to support my team. I'm going to go wrecking ball. I'm going to go way out to one flank in the center of the map, and I'm going to cut right across the center and go to the other side and have fun on all three flanks. Because why leave any fun back on the table? So I'm just going to kind of let this play in the background and use this video as kind of a reminder of why we're here and why I made the channel. Number one, it's to have fun. I see a lot of people in the game that get focused on the team not doing what they want them to do. They focus on, well, this isn't the ideal strategy or the textbook situation. I'm bottom tier. Try to affect these attitudes and change them in a way that will make our overall experience, fun. Because if you're just waiting for that 1 in 25, 1 in 100 game to make your World of Tanks experience worth it, that's a lot of the rest of it that wasn't. So I think our biggest focus here on the channel is to increase that everyday play. And then when you get an opportunity like this, you don't have to squander it by saying, this is my one opportunity for success, I've got to make it, the biggest victory I've had today. You can just get out there and run around and have some fun. So, that's why I'm not showing you my Top Gun games or my Walter Radley games, because there's not as much commentary about what the teams are doing, because if you're getting a Walter Radley medal, neither one of the teams was very good. So, that's what we want to focus on. One of the chief tenets here at Team Able is that you're on a team with 14 other people. It's not that 14 people are on your team. So, we're going to talk about some of those general concepts about working with a team and getting your everyday game play up to a standard where it's a lot better. And you're going to do that by supporting what the situation on the battlefield is, not what the situation on the battlefield that you'd like to have or the team that you'd like to have instead of the team that you're on. And if you do want some more technical information with people that run stats and talk about the technical term for the exact things that happen, like with your view range circle, whether it's the shaded area within your cone of fire that is your really view range, or whether that dotted circle, to me those things are just benchmarks or in the neighborhood of kind of things. Because at the end of the day, so many factors can affect things like your detection and view range. So I use those tools on the mini-map just as a general, I'm in the neighborhood and I'll go from here, because a different tank's camouflage factor or whether or not they're stationary or moving, they can affect all of those things. So I try to keep it at that 30,000 foot level and not get into the individual details. But if you do like individual details and stats, go over to Captain Beardface's channel. He does a really good job of doing reviews on tanks and going through all of the stats and all of your different critical hit areas, and then he'll get into some gameplay, and I think there's a lot to be learned from and a lot of benefit to be had there. So go over there and give him a look, give him a subscription. Shout out to you, Captain Beardface. And if your focus is on just having fun, games where you just get in and go wrecking ball and run around the map and shoot everybody, go over to the Beard guys. Shout out to you, Ben and Lamb. Those guys have a lot of fun, and they're not worried about any of their stats. They're just worried about, hey, which tank is fun and let's go play. So give them a look. But here I'm trying to focus on Team Able, anything but last. We're not trying to be first. We're just trying not to be the worst. And in a two-player game, if you're not the worst, well, you won. So again, if you have that trying to be first every time strategy, well, you're you're going to go for those 1 in 25, 1 in 100 games where you get Walter Radley or Top Gun. How often that happens for you. But there's going to be a lot of frustration in the bulk of the other games. And for me, I think, the lion's share of the table, or the lion's share that's on the table, if I can get that out. See, from the middle of the map, I can shoot forward or back. This is great. And I don't care. So I'll just take a couple shots at this guy. So, now that my dialogue is totally stalled out, so the lion's share of the fun to be had in the game, which is the true reason that we play this game, is to have a better game every game. And that means let your team do what they want and support that. Support the situation that is on the battlefield. Try to have more consistency in your play to where you're having a better game every game and not just looking for those one-off games. So many channels focus on the Walter Radley or the Top Gun battles, and that's not most of your battles. So you've got to learn how to get consistency and your overall attitude and strategy, because you're going to do better as a team than you're going to do as an individual. And that's really where it boils down to. You're going to have more wins when you're playing with your team as a team rather than trying to make them conform to your individual strategy. So, if you take those kinds of things into account, you've already got a good win rate, and you can play like I did in the KV-85 here today and just kind of run around and shoot stuff and have a good time. So I hope that'll help kind of frame what we're doing here, give a couple of shout-outs for other channels, that cover things that I don't. As always, Klaus's Corner, he plays on the PC, so there's a few things that are just a little bit different. But he does the Map Tactics Strategy series, and he has a couple of other series that are fun, but they do use some adult language that I try to stay away from here on the channel. It's not that that kind of thing offends me. I just thought that with my overall strategy of improving team play and positive attitude, that it wouldn't support my overall message, so I try to stay away from it. So if that kind of thing offends you, then the Beard guys or Klaus, might not be your cup of tea. But if you're okay with that, both of those channels are great and they have a lot of fun. Another thing I wanted to ask you for comments was, do you want my videos to be longer, or do you want me to keep them short? I've been trying to keep them under 10 minutes, and a lot of these videos I feel like I could make 3 or 4 different commentaries on the same video and look at, tank rolls, team strategy, attitude in the game. A lot of these things I could make them over, but I don't want to make you watch the same video 3 times. And I don't always find a video that's 100% ideal to support the point I'm making, but I've been just keeping it short, trying to keep it 30,000 foot as much as I can. And I wanted to know if you were able to take that and go, okay, that information is good enough, I can use that with my own World of Tanks experience to understand the point you're making. Or would you like me to go ahead and bump that video length up to 15 or 20 minutes and go more in depth on some of those issues? Be able to have time to commentate on not only the tactical situation, but your overall World of Tanks strategy. So you can see here on the KV-85, I'm using the 100 instead of the 122. I like the penetration and rate of fire on this. I'm not much of a derp gunner, but it's a fun tank. It doesn't do as well when it's bottom tier as some of the other tanks are suited to do, but you can still get it done. And, if you want to know about support for the channel, buy some gold and support the game, because if the game exists, the channel exists, and without that game, there's nothing. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a good time.